Cisco-Meth. Hello, this is Jeanie Cisco-Meth, and we are going to be doing a live training today on how habits and how they make you who you are. And I used to do this with my students at Summit High and a few of the other schools that I taught at, but I wanted to share it with you today because I think it's a very visual reminder of how habits affect us and what they do. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about our brain and how it works, okay? So first of all, think of a stick figure with a great big head, all right? And then divide your great big head in half. And on the top, you have your conscious mind, everything that you're aware of. And then on the bottom, you have your subconscious. Some people call it unconscious. I call it the part I don't know about. And so inside your consciousness is everything that you're aware of. You're aware of what people are saying to you. You're aware. So this is your awareness in your conscious brain. It's if you're reading something. I remember when I was in school and I remember studying the brain and thinking, oh my goodness, my brain is studying my brain. So the conscious brain is the things that you're aware of. Then you have your subconscious brain. That's the part that runs the body. It's the part you are unaware of. You don't know about it. Well, you can study about it, but you're unaware of it. All right? And then, of course, we have our marvelous body, our vehicle. Now, what happens is, my goodness, we could spend hours and hours just on this part. I'm going to keep it to habits today. Okay, so first of all, we have in here, we have our habits. Up here, we have what we see or what we think we see, right? Change blindness is a whole other thing we could talk about. But our conscious mind can do about 4 to 7 tasks, kind of multitasking. Some people say, no, you can only do one at a time. But the conscious mind can switch between different activities of about 4 to 7. The body can do one task at a time. All right? It can only do one task at a time. You can run, you can jump, you can skip, you can walk, you can pick something up, right? But it can do one task at a time. But then the subconscious, and you may have heard of this before, the subconscious can do over 4 billion. It can take in 4 billion different bits of information. The conscious mind, this is tasks, okay? And the conscious mind can take in, for tasks-wise, moving things, about 2 million. We're going to put 2 million tasks. Things that it's doing, but this is bits of information. So our conscious mind can take in about 2,000 bits of information per minute or per second, and our subconscious mind can bring in about 4 million. So as you can see, the subconscious is the part where most things happen. It's the part where it runs the body, it stores our habits, it has our emotions, it's the filing system. It takes care of the stuff that we're not able to consciously take care of. For example, I can hold my breath or I can forget about my breath. So it can be subconscious or it can be conscious. My heartbeat is subconscious. Now I can slow it or I can bring it back up, but it's mostly subconscious. Digestion, I have nothing to do with that consciously. It all happens subconsciously. So when I was a health teacher and I taught all the muscles and all the ligaments and all the tendons and everything of the body, I could name all of my muscles, all my ligaments and joints. However, I still couldn't say, okay, supraspinatus, I want you to engage 2% of your muscles and start this outward abduction of my arm. Oh, and now the deltoid's got to take over and move it. No, I would just move my arm. And so the subconscious runs the body. It knows how many muscle fibers to use to move the muscles. It knows how to digest my food, pump my heart, my blood vessels expand and contract as needed. That's all subconscious. Consciously is what I'm thinking about, what I'm seeing. I invite you to go on to any website, type in change blindness, and it's going to give you even more information about conscious and subconscious and what you see and what you don't see. I'm sure, I've showed videos before where you see people passing the basketball. Maybe you've seen this one. Half the team is dressed in white, the other half is dressed all in black, and they say, count how many times they pass the basketball. Of course it would be a basketball. We're a basketball family, right? They say, count how many times the basketball is passed. And it's the white team that is passing the ball. Well, then what happens is a gorilla, a man in a gorilla suit, we have a creepy thing coming in. No, my son just let the dog out. It's okay. But you'll see a man in a gorilla suit come in, beat his chest in the middle of it, and then go on off stage. What happens is if I remember the statistics right, 25% of the people, maybe it's up to 50, I don't know, check the stats, but a great number of people don't even see the gorilla. They're so busy concentrating on how many passes are made, they don't even see the gorilla. Now some people do see the gorilla, but some don't. That's what's happening between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Okay, you may be asking, Jeanie, what does this have to do with habits? Ha! I'm so glad you asked. And to help me with this demonstration part, my daughter is going to join us. And her name is Erin Cisco-Peterson. And she is 5'10" and just a beautiful, beautiful young lady. Everybody say, hi, Erin.
Hi, Erin.
Okay, and we're going to talk about how this thread is kind of like a habit. Okay, you do something once, you're conscious of it, and you do something once. So, and what I want you to do is I want you to take your hands and I want you to put them together like this. Okay? And now, let's say you do, what is something that you have started doing recently?
Waking up at 9 o'clock.
Okay, so how many times have you done that?
3 so far.
So 3. So we're going to go 3 times, okay? 1, 2, 3. Oh! That's okay.
That's a lot of waking up.
Okay? So Erin has started a new habit. And so we went around her hands 3 times with a piece of thread. She put her hands, palms together, wrists together, and then I take this piece of thread, I wrapped it around her wrist 3 times, and now Erin, what I want you to do, hang on, I gotta finish tying the knot here. What I want you to do is I want you to try and break this thread, okay? So go ahead, take your hands, use some leverage, and see if you can break that thread, okay? So did it break kind of hard? Was it easy?
That was easy.
Seemed fairly easy, right? Okay, now go ahead and put your wrists back together, and I want you to tell me how many times have you been sleeping in past 9 o'clock?
My whole life?
So what you're saying is a whole bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's what I'm asking, my whole life or just last month?
What you're saying is you have this habit of sleeping in, and it's been going on for quite a long time, right? So I'm probably got about 20, let's do a few more here, right? But anyways, what you're saying is that's a pretty big habit.
I liked it.
Okay, so you have we've got quite a few. Would you admit, yes, we have quite a few habits wrapped around there?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to tie it again. And what I want you to do is I want you to try and break it again. Just like you did last time. Go ahead and use the leverage of your arms. Okay, because, you got to use a little bit of leverage, right? And go ahead and try to break that this time.
Ow.
Okay, so it hurts, doesn't it? Do you think if you kept doing it, you could... No. Don't bite it. Okay, but the purpose of this is a new formed habit 3 times is easy to break, right?
Yes.
But a habit that you've been doing for some time is much more difficult to break. Yes?
Yes.
Do you want to keep trying, or do you want to hurt yourself, or do you want me to release you? Okay, so as you can see, we didn't have tons, but Erin, tell me, what did you learn from this little demonstration here?
You have to keep going at it to break an old habit to start a new one.
Right, you have to stop doing the old habit, which was sleeping in, and start doing the new habit and continue to do it over and over and over, right?
Yes.
I just repeated what you said because it was kind of quiet, and I want to make sure everybody could hear you. What else did you learn from this?
I better keep up with waking up at 9.
Yeah, to get that habit ingrained, you've got to keep doing it because it's not a habit right now, right?
No,
It's
not.
still in your conscious mind. I'm consciously choosing to wake up. But then, as it moves down into your subconscious, it becomes a habit. Then you don't have to think about it anymore. Your alarm clock goes off, you just get up.
Yeah, it's only easy for me right now to wake up at 9 because it's still brand new. But over time, I will slowly start slipping back into my old habit, but I still got to keep it up.
Right. So if you start to feel yourself start to slip back into that subconscious old habit, then you got to remember, bring it back to consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that you continue to do it so that you can have it in a nice, strong habit. Right? Perfect. Everybody say, thanks, Erin. We love you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to have my son come up.
Yeah,
And he was just getting ready to go out and work on his car, on his truck. He's been out there doing the brakes. And so I said, Max, come here. I want to have you help me here because, as you can see, my son is much bigger than my daughter. And I know some of you might be saying, well, yeah, but that's because it's a girl and she's not as strong and, you know, all those excuses. And so, be ready, my friends.
She wanted me to take my jacket off
So-
too.
Max. So I asked him if he wanted to change. I said, this is going to be broadcast to a bunch of people, and you've got your greasy sweatshirt on. But he didn't care. He said, I'm going out to work on my car. So Max, tell me a new habit that you have started.
Start watching a vision board.
Okay, so
Vision board,
Max just started a vision board. We'll do a training on a vision board later. But basically, a vision board is something that you look at in the morning and in the evening to get your mind focused on where you want to go. Max, tell us one thing that's on your vision board.
One thing that's on my vision board is I want to be able to buy a Ford F-150 1992 pickup truck, long bed.
Beautiful. What color is it?
It's going to be white with the red trim around it and red interior.
Okay, so what I want you to notice is how specific Max got. Because the more specific you can get, the better it is. Again, I'm not going into vision board trainings, but I'm going to give you a tip. Think of your vision board as calibrating your brain. And then your brain sends out thought waves. Those thought waves are like your little minions. Your little minions go out into the universe to find things. And if they're confused as to what to get, then they may sit down on the curb and go, what did he want again? But Max was very specific. Say again what you want about your truck.
I want a Ford F-150 1992 pickup truck, long bed. White truck with red trim and red interior.
See? That's very specific. His minions know exactly what to go get. Whereas if you were to just say, I want a pickup truck, they'd be like, do you want this one? Do you want this one? Do you want this one? And he'd keep saying, no, no, no. And they'd be like, whatever. And then they'd sit down on the curb and say, when you figure it out, let us know. We'll go get it. So by being very specific, that's exciting. Okay, so how many times have you done your vision board? I like the contemplative look.
I'd say about like 5 times.
Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to take your hands, put them palms together so your wrists are together, and we're going to go around 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm wrapping his wrist 5 times with this piece of sewing thread. And now I'm just going to tie it because we don't want it to just fall off, right? That wouldn't work. And so I'm just going to tie it Just gonna tie it. Just gonna tie it. There we go. Now I want you to go ahead and see if you can break it. Oh, I must not have tied it. Oh, yeah, hang on. Put your wrist together again. We're gonna retie you here. And we know it's 5 times, so I'm just gonna do. I wondered if I got that last knot in there. Obviously, I did not.
You need to get your readers now.
Hey. Max asked me if I needed to get my glasses, which I wear glasses 99.9% of the time.
This is that.
This is that 0.1%. I'm getting all tangled in the thread here.
My hands are tied.
Is there a metaphor here? I bet there is. I just haven't taken the time to figure it out yet.
Quit getting your butt wrapped up
There we
in
go.
other people's habits.
Okay, there you go. See if you can break that. Okay, was it fairly easy to break?
Yeah.
Okay, now, how many days have you gone, let's say, without a vision board? A whole bunch? The rest of your life?
Yeah.
Max is 19 years old, and so let's go ahead and let's put your hands up there.
19 times 305
19 times 365. So what we're saying is, okay, go ahead and put them. Okay, now you'll see that, oh, sorry, that I'm punching my son in the face. You will see that I'm wrapping this around his sleeves here because this thread, should you choose to do this with your family or whoever, this thread can cut. And that's a whole nother learning experience right there that you may want to teach and you may not to. The first time I did this, I came up with this demonstration. Okay, I have to be honest, I didn't come up with this. The Lord downloaded this to me. I love it when He does that. But I was working at Summit High. My thread is getting caught. I was working at Summit High and I had some students who had habits that were just not very good. And so I wanted to show them how their habits were hurting them. And they just didn't believe me. And I had one student, okay, now my string is caught.
Aha, I prevent you from putting your habits upon me.
So, well, what happened was, as you can see, this has been chewed on. My little puppy tried to eat it. So, but anyways, my students were so convinced that they could continue their drug activity, they can continue all these things that they had been doing and it was not hurting them in any way. And so I showed them how even something as small as thread can definitely hurt them. And so I didn't put it around their wrists. And so they got cut. And yes, I went to the principal's office for that. So, but I didn't know it would cut them at the time. I didn't do it on purpose. Hey, Aaron, will you? Oh, here we go. Okay. We got it. Okay, so we're still wrapping my... Hey, let go. Put your arms out here. Hang on. Stop. Okay. Sometimes family is wonderful. And sometimes family needs to be reminded of things.
Please don't.
So, but as you can, no, I'm wrapping it on the thing. So, wrap it on their long sleeves or something like that so that it doesn't cut them. Because you don't want to hurt them. You just want to teach a message. And I have no idea how many times we've gone around here. I don't think we've gone around as many as Aaron's. But let's see. Let's stop here and see if you can break this. I know we haven't gone around near as many times as you have not done this, as you have not had a vision board. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and tie this.
You get a professional tire.
I am a professional tire. Okay, there we go. Okay, now see if you can break those. Was it harder though?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna do it one more time here.
Yeah,
So
boy.
we didn't have quite enough
I got an idea.
of string.
Let's try this. Where's the...
Okay, let's straighten this out and straighten this out. Now here we go. We're gonna do this.
That's what I was thinking.
We
Just
got
do
this
like a
going
bunch.
fast. Yeah. So put your hands out. No, same way you did before. Put your wrists together.
I was just gonna say you could just have a bunch of thread out. Just let it go. There you go. Okay.
Oh wait, that one went on your skin. I don't want to hurt you. Oh! Okay, I don't need to hold that. There we go. Now we've got a system going. So, he's doing this habit over and over and over and over
And over.
and over
And over.
and over.
Notice how we procrastinate, stalling time while we tie me up. Gotta have some fillers every now and then. Or
Yeah,
something.
this could have a whole nother
Everyone chant
connotation.
over in the comments below. Chant over and over and over. We need chants over and over. Hey, someone commented. I see you, fam. Over and over.
Okay, anyway,
Over.
Max, how many times do you think that is?
I don't know. I lost how many overs.
Me too.
28.
Oh, only 28? That's it?
9.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
We got a blueprint.
my
Keep on
husband
track.
is counting.
That's even more than my age.
And so, anyways,
I'm up to
how
the
many now,
challenge.
honey?
35.
35? Okay, so I think we'll go with just 35, yeah? Is that more than last time, Max?
I don't know. Is it?
Yes.
Looking at it.
It's more than last
It's
time.
more than last time? Okay, so here, we're gonna go with this. I'm gonna tie it here. So, Max and I both agreed this is not as many days as he has woken up and not done a vision board. However, this is, what'd you say, 35, honey?
Mm-hmm.
This is 35 times of a habit. Okay, go ahead, Max. So, but you did it, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so what that says is you can definitely break a habit, which we know because I've redone habits many times. But did it get harder?
Mm-hmm.
And the longer and longer I kept wrapping you, it would get harder and harder, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what did you learn from this exercise, Max?
Don't wrap it around so many times.
Which it is a
Metaphor
for
for waking up
or
and not doing your thing you're telling yourself to do.
right, you're trying to create a new habit, which is looking at your vision board every day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you keep doing that every day, but it helps you remember, I got to keep doing this because I have a very fragile habit right now. Or it's not even a habit, it's in my conscious, I got to move it into my subconscious. Yes?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Thank you for being here, Max. You can go work on your truck now.
Really? Can I record a little bit longer?
You can stay and watch if you want, that's just fine. Okay, now we have my husband. He's going to come down and he's going to demonstrate. Because you might be thinking, oh, well, look at me. I'm big and strong and handsome. And I can break any thread. My thread is gone.
See how powerful I am?
You see how powerful I am? You see how hungry I am? Oh, wait, different movie. Okay, so what is something that you have just started doing recently?
I don't know. I don't make habits.
That's
Yeah.
not true, Mom, Dad. That's not true.
What do you think?
I don't know about your new habits because I don't get up the same time you do.
True. I will say my new habit is to be more patient with my kids.
Okay, and go ahead and put your wrists out in front of you with your palms together. And how many times have you done this new habit?
Not enough.
Not enough, Aaron said.
I don't know.
We're going to say 4 times. How's that?
Okay.
We're going to say 4 times. So I've gone around 4 times, and now we're going to tie it. So now, one note about my husband. Is it okay if I tell them about your incident was it junior high or high school? When somebody gave you something that wasn't good for you, but it did not become a habit? Do you remember that?
Pick one.
So some people, like myself, make habits much more quickly. They're more addictive. They have a more addictive nature than other people. And I am one of those people. I knew as a young child that if I ever did drugs, I would be an addict in the gutter. So I stayed away from them because I knew I had an addictive nature. Now my husband does not have an addictive nature. And so there are some variants in that. But as you can see, we have different sizes. It doesn't matter your size or whether you have an addictive nature or not, you can still get caught up in a habit. So this represents a habit that has happened a few times. Go ahead, honey. Pretty easy to break, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we know how to break
So-
that one.
So, now we're going to tie you up. We're going to try to do this without taking forever, like we did with Max. Are you counting?
No, 4.
This is kind of fun. I get to tie my whole family up today. I hadn't really
You would have
planned
more
on
fun
that.
if you tied them all up at the same time.
Oh my goodness. I guess that would have been more fun. I should have tied you all up at the same time, huh? Okay, now, here we go.
Part 2, whole family tied together.
We could have just tied you all together. That would have been fun too.
Will they ever escape?
So what we're doing is I'm going around and around and around his wrists to show that something as little as thread or as little as we think, oh, well, I'm just going to do it once. I'm going to tell a story on my son because he's left. But he knows I do this all the time. And he's okay with it. So my son recently came to me and said, Mom, I'm thinking about starting vaping. Right? As a mother, you cringe. And I'm like, okay, Max, tell me about it. Why do you want to start vaping? Well, because all my friends are doing it. Yeah, that's the first thing always, right? My friends are doing it, brings it into your consciousness, brings it into your awareness, then they keep doing it, and then pretty soon you start doing it. So we talked, and he said, well, there's no medical studies about it yet. And I said, yeah, there used to be a time when they thought smoking was good for you, too. How many times do you think that is?
43.
Oh, okay, we're going to go to 50. And so we talked about it a little bit, and I said, is that really a habit you want to start? Something that you won't be able to get over? And he's like, I don't know. I said, we'll spend some time thinking about it some more, and let me know. How many is that? Oh, okay.
More than 50.
More than 50? Okay. And so then recently my husband found an article on how vaping is very, very bad for you. So luckily Max had thought about it, and he had not started that habit, because then it would have been very hard for him to break, because they do now have studies showing how bad vaping is for people. So good thing he didn't start that habit. Okay, honey, go ahead. That's just over 50 times. Try to break it.
Nope.
Okay, so just over 50 times, and he's not able to break it. Now, he probably could. If he kept working and working and working, he could get it to slowly
If I
snap
wanted to hurt
these.
myself.
Yes, good metaphor. If he wanted to hurt himself. Sometimes habits are painful to break because they are addictive. But they can be broken by starting a new habit, just as we talked about with Aaron earlier. So, habits. Make sure you're creating the ones that you want to keep using. So I want you all to thank my husband for being here, my daughter, my son. Give them all a round of applause. Thank you so much for helping me demonstrate how habits are habit forming. That was funny. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you're very careful about what you're putting into action. What are you doing every day? Because when it's in your conscious mind, once it dips into your subconscious, it's a habit. So make sure you make habits that you want. Getting up on time, eating healthy food, reading good books, watching good movies, playing games together, having a time where you all come together. Whatever it is you're trying to do, make sure you're creating good habits. Thanks so much for joining me, and bye for now.